A bird with a funny name sits upon a dock post of a frigid Atlantic wharf, waiting for friends to arrive for the busy mating season. With a beak the color of sunset, these seabirds squawk greetings to pals arriving from the solitary hunting season. But some new faces on Maine shores have strange customs. Sometimes it's best to join in to fit in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, or please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
And a very special thank you to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on. If you'd like to donate, just visit our home on the web. Don't visit our home on the web. Visit patreon.com/ldtaxonomy or click on donate on our home on the web, ldtaxonomy.com.
And today we are talking about a tiny thing that's not a penguin, but sure looks like one.
I thought all tiny things were penguins, but now I'm learning that that's not the case.
No. When I was doing the research, so many articles were like, this is not a penguin. I'm like, I know. Does everyone else not know that? It's a different thing than a penguin.
There are a lot of black and white seabirds, I'm learning now, that I would just assume was a penguin at a distance. And you know what happens when you assume, right?
To make a penguin out of you and me.
That's right. You end up misidentifying Palearctic waterfowl.
But we are not talking about a penguin. We are talking about a puffin.
Talking about the Atlantic.
I guess you were supposed to say that.
Yeah, I was. Talking about the Atlantic puffin. The reason I could not visit St. Michael's Island when we visited Southern Ireland in 2018 is because the puffins were breeding on that island. St. Michael's Island is the island that they filmed The Last Jedi on. It's got it's like the monastery. It's not that I wanted to relive The Last Jedi in any way, shape, or form, but that was a cool looking island.
It's also the reason in The Last Jedi porgs exist.
Right, because they couldn't get rid of the puffins.
They had to cover the puffins with porgs.
So they were like, we could edit all the puffins out, or I'm thinking merchandising opportunity, and they went with option B. But yeah, we were gonna go take a ferry over there, and they're like, nope, no humans allowed. They're mating. And we're like, all right, if you say so. But yeah, it's also called the common puffin. But we're gonna call it here Mannequin Begin Again, and Aluna Lovewood, which works on several levels. Because, it works into the major fact with the wood part, but also Luna is the name of the main puffin character from Puffin Rock. We were just talking about Puffin Rock, I think. I don't know if we were talking about it while we were recording, but Chris O'Dowd from the IT crowd, who plays Roy, narrates a preschool show called Puffin Rock, where these puffins just learn lessons about life and try not to get killed by seagulls. And really, the seagulls are the bad guys. And the main character's name is Luna. Oh, hi, Luna. What are you doing there? You got to keep an eye out for the seagulls. That's like the whole show, and it's delightful. One of the few delightful preschool shows out there. So, yep, that's why I called it that. But let's taxonomize this. Let's do a science. let's start us off with a good old fashioned kingdom, which you know, love, and are in, and that's Animalia, of course. The phylum is Chordata. You also know, love, and are in that one. The class is Aves. The order is Charadriformes. 2 eyes there. We're gonna just, or maybe put a glottal stop in there. Charadriformes. Like Israel Kamawiwa Ole. The family is Alcidae. The genus is Fratercula. And the species is Arctica. I just had an idea. Would you rather do... I might be making a mistake here. But would you rather do nitty-gritty nomenclature or critter groups for Puffin?
There are other puffins. Like the tufted puffin. That might be good to do later on. I don't know. Let's do the we might as well. Let's find out the critters group's name. Term of entry.
Okay. It's time for my favorite part of the show and the listeners' favorite part of the show. Critter groups. The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question. That question is, what is the name of for a group of this animal, or what is the term of entry, or what is the collective noun? If you saw a group of puffins, which if you see one puffin, you've probably you've seen them all. No, you're probably seeing several. Would you call it A friar of puffins? B, see, I'm making these up as I go. This isn't helping. All right, we'll do this again. Would you call it A fraternity of puffins? B, an improbability of puffins? C, I can't do this on the fly. Let's just go back to nitty-gritty nomenclature.
No, just do. C is not the answer. I already know it's not the answer.
See, this was a mistake. Let's do nitty-gritty nomenclature next time we do a puffin.
We'll save it for the tufted puffin, and I'll try to avoid spoilers for the term of entry for puffins.
Got it. There's quite a few. I forgot we were doing a bird, and I just went straight to nitty-gritty nomenclature because that's just what's been doable recently. But then I was like, oh no, we're doing a bird, and the ornithologists are always good with they always got a good term of entry up their sleeves. Okay. Let's do nitty-gritty nomenclature. This the other listener's favorite part of the show, where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that is, what is the English translation for the binomial nomenclature, which in this case is Fratercula arctica. Does that mean A, brotherly cold, B, strong Arctic speech, C, little Arctic friar, or D, Arctic imposter?
Little Arctic friar? What's with you and friars? Tell me them again. Run them by me again.
Brotherly cold, strong Arctic speech, little Arctic friar, and Arctic imposter.
Dang it. Brother? Was one of them brother?
Brotherly cold.
Brotherly cold. Final answer.
That is incorrect. Gotcha.
What? What is the answer?
Fratercula means little friar.
Does that come from the Latin for brother?
I'm sure
it does. Brother bear. Oh man, because I know frater is Latin for
brother.
Brother.
Fraternity, fratricide, all those good frater words.
Spelled exactly that way, so it's like it's got to be brother. But so is friar. So technically that one also is little brother.
Yeah,
It's probably little brother.
little Arctic brother, or little Arctic friar, but it's not brotherly cold. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a little Arctic friar. They saw
It's
it and
just
it's
my
like,
little Arctic brother. If puffins could be any cuter, as if they could be any cuter, and then you give them a silly little name like Little Arctic Friar or Little Arctic Brother.
I don't know, cute. They is not the word I
They
would.
look worried. Look how worried he is.
I know. Yes. Okay. So let me talk about what he looks like. What the description of a puffin. Okay. So this is a stocky little penguin knockoff crossed with a duck and a little bit of parrot thrown in there for good measure.
A little bit of dodo.
He has glossy, waterproof black feathers on the back, wings, and on the crown, and that's countershaded with crisp white underbelly feathers and also white on the face. It has a short neck and light gray cheek patches that give it this kind of side eye, but it also has these black lines that come off the top, like going toward the up from its eyes, that make it look perpetually concerned. It has resting concerned face. It looks like it's constantly saying, "Aw, what's wrong, honey?"
Yes, it does. It looks like it's constantly seeing somebody who's homeless on Christmas.
It's constantly looking at someone who has a tummy ache. But it has this massive triangular bill, which this is the part where it stops looking like a penguin. This huge triangular bill. It's like kind of more parrot-like, and it has a lot of colors, especially in breeding season. It has this orange base. It has yellow ridges, blue tips. Very tropical aura that doesn't really fit in the freezing, windswept islands of the Arctic, but that definitely stands out. It has bright orange legs, webbed feet, built for paddling, so that's why it kind of has those duck feet, and a stubby tail that can act as kind of like a rudder. It has, compared to its cousin, the auk, AUK, which is another penguin wannabe. It's medium sized. It's not as chunky as the Muir, but it's not as sleek as the Guillemot. Again, these are all black and white waterfowl in the Arctic or the Palearctic. I didn't realize how many of again, I would if I was just out on a boat there, I'd be like, oh, look, a penguin. Oh, look, another penguin. Oh, that penguin's floating on the water. That penguin's flying. An
ornithologist would be like, you fool.
He would grab me by my lapels and slap me in the face for the audacity to call a Guillemot or a Muir a penguin. He would toss me overboard. But yes, how that leads us to how big this very concerned boy is. How big is he?
Well, that brings us to the beloved Measure Up segment, the official listeners part of the show, the part of the show when we present the animal size and dimensions in relatable terms to a quiz that's fun for the whole family. It's also part of the show that's introduced by you when you send an audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words Measure Up into ldtaxonomy at gmail.com. We don't have a new Measure Up intro this week. Would you like to hear? Let's have Carlos guess what this is from.
If it's a puffin, I can think of only one.
Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
What are you doing up here?
Oh, it's Puffin Rock.
It's Puffin. Puffin Rock. It's
Luna.
Puffin Rock.
It's Luna.
I don't know any other Puffin characters.
I know one. There is a little puffin that that says goodbye to Buddy the elf as he leaves, and he says, or he tries, he would say
Oh.
he asks Buddy if he wants to throw snowballs or something, and he says, "Not now, Arctic Puffin."
Are there any puffins in Happy Feet? Maybe there
I don't think so.
are. We don't have new Measure Up intros, but we do have some new comments on the Spotify. But it said y'all finally listened to this, and it said TYSM, and I first read it as Tism. Y'all are very sweet, and I thought she was calling us autistic. It's like, no, it's thank you so much. She also said, I think it's just she. Man, I'm blanking on the person's real name. I love this podcast, especially at night, not for sleep, but for just winding down. It's okay. You can fall asleep. Really helps.
we
relax
allow
my
you
brain.
to sleep. Only
Yeah.
when you are begging for sleep will I
won't
finally
be-
grant it.
No, I mean, I won't be offended if you fall asleep. It's not. I won't. It really helps relax my brain and keep entertained. Y'all make me laugh every episode. Well, that is great. We discussed very early on that it is way easier to be informative than funny. So we'll try to.
Yeah,
It's icing on the cake.
it's much more consistent to be informative. The funny just hopefully happens. I don't know. That's why we wait until 11 o'clock at night to record these, so that we are
Slap
on
happy.
a different plane of existence.
Yeah.
But thank you. That's a nice comment.
It is.
Feel free to fall asleep because I'd like to. Now.
Me too. Well, let's get to that. Not falling asleep, but
All right, signing off.
Tasteful thickness of this bird. Let's talk about their length. The Atlantic
that made me
puffin
hungry.
has
Tasteful
standing
thickness
height.
of a bird. Yum.
Their bill to tip to tail is 38 or 28 to 30 centimeters or 11 to 12 inches. Their standing height is about 8 to 10 inches, 25 centimeters. And their wingspan is 63 centimeters or 25 inches. You wouldn't think that their wingspan is that wide compared to their standing height. But I guess it is. They have stubby little wings.
Consider the condor.
Well, the condor can fly like a long time. Can these guys fly at all? I don't think so. They fly in the water. If they do fly, it's like fluttering, like a chicken does. So
Yes, they can fly.
How many? Like fully?
Fast. Like a normal
They can fly
bird.
fast?
They actually don't
Puffin?
they float on the water. They don't swim underwater
They
very
sure
much.
do swim under the water. I've seen it with my own eyes
Not very much.
at the zoo.
Their thing is that they float on the water like ducks.
Well, I know they do that, but they can also like they swim in the water like they are flying. They use their wings, unlike a penguin. They do
Penguins
fly.
use
Wow,
their
look at
wings
this.
underwater.
Yeah, I guess they do. They're like more like fins. Let's talk about their. Let's imagine their length of 12 inches for this. So how do they compare to these things? Which is correct. 11.1 Atlantic puffins go into the length of a traditional Icelandic Hafr net pole. A with a hat. FUR.
A with a hat.
A with a dash hat.
Oh,
A apostrophe for a hat.
no idea how to that pronounce. How that
How
is
to
pronounced.
that pronounce it be? B 9.8 Atlantic puffins go into the height of a Feroci Puffin Flagpole.
A flaying pole?
Flagpole. It looks like the way it looks like it's supposed to be pronounced. It's like the phonetic pronunciation for a Midwestern way to say flag.
A flag.
Fleyg. A flagpole. Oh, jeez. A flagpole is used in...
There's a flagpole at the Packers Stadium.
It's in the Faroe Islands. It's used for catching puffins mid-flight. Stop doing that. Stop that. Leave them alone. They're so concerned. They're concerned
about flagpoles.
Yeah, they were already concerned about seagulls. Now they're afraid of flagpoles. Or C, 2 Atlantic puffins go into the length of a puffin burrow in Iceland. Typical Atlantic puffin burrows.
B, flagpole. Flagpole.
Final answer?
Final answer.
The correct answer is flagpoles. 9.8 puffins go into one of these flagpoles.
My day job, I work almost exclusively with
building flagpoles.
With flagpoles, with puffins. No, I work with Minnesotans. And so I just hear that accent a lot.
Oh, great. You work with... I like the idea of you working with Minnesotans, like somebody would work with the the blind or something.
Like I'm negotiating with Minnesotans.
Yeah.
We're working with the Iroquois and the Minnesotans.
We're gonna get a deal done.
Hey, that's what we do. We get deals done.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about their weight. The tasteful thickness. They weigh about 550 grams or 1.21 pounds. How do they fit into how do they compare to these things? Which is correct. A, 2.6 smoked puffins go into the weight of an Atlantic puffin. Quit eating puffins. I guess I mean, they're no... I mean, if I eat a chicken, I might as well eat a puffin, but... Yeah, it seems sadder for some reason.
Is it because of his face?
Yeah. To B, 9.2 puffin eggs go into the weight of an Atlantic puffin. Or C, 2.8 Atlantic puffins go into the weight of a Pharisee puffin hunting bag.
A bag?
Don't
you mean a bag?
Bags. If there was a Y, I would love this. B-A-Y-G.
A flagpole and put them in Pharisee bags.
What does a Faroe Island accent sound like? What do they speak there? Icelandic?
Faroe Island. No idea. Also, I would never attempt an Icelandic accent. You made me really hungry when you said smoked
they speak
puffin.
Feroci. It's a northern Germanic language.
We're going to go with C on this one. Norse. C because that's where they live, on the sea.
C is for Catwoman.
C is for Catwoman.
Final answer?
Yes.
The correct answer is 9.2 puffin eggs go into the weight of an Atlantic puffin. A smoked puffin is a delicacy in Iceland, and it weighs about 400 grams prepared.
I'd like to go to Iceland, and now I want to go even more.
Because you want to smoke a puffin?
Because I want to puff a puffin.
That's all I got for that. Do you have any fast facts before we get into the major fact?
I sure do. They as we've mentioned, they like the colder weather. They fly and swim and enjoy life in the North Atlantic. They are the Atlantic puffins, after all. Their breeding ranges from Newfoundland and Maine up to Iceland and Greenland and Scandinavia and the British Isles. And then they winter out at sea from the Arctic down to the Carolinas, and even as far to the equator as Morocco. Although I think Morocco and the Carolinas are on a similar latitude, which is nuts to me to think that like a desert African country is on the same latitude as the Carolinas. But like you just don't realize how high of a latitude Europe is in general. But it's just so temperate because of the ocean and everything. But the puffin nests in massive colonies on rocky cliffs and grassy islands. They like to make burrows that they dig into the turf. They are monogamous. They form pairs that stick together for years with elaborate courtship rituals that involve bill rubbing, head bobbing, and preening, kind of like awkward teens. And they are piscivorous. Piscivorous. They eat fish. They eat herring and capelin and sand eels. Which I didn't even know what sand eels were. They can dive, like you said, they do swim. They can dive up to 200 feet deep, kind of doing flying motions underwater, flapping with their stubby little wings, and they can chase their fishy prey, and they surface and float around like ducks and eat their food. Efficiency is key when you have pufflings to feed. They can live for about 20 years in the wild, although the oldest ringed puffin that we've documented was 36 when it died. So fish heavy diet. It works for the Chinese and it works for puffins for longevity. They are ultra colonial breeders. They come together in groups of thousands during breeding season, but they are loners when they are out at sea during the winter. Well, not complete loners. They do form those families, but they don't get together in those large groups. And they huddle in burrows to fend off the cold, rivals, and their predators, which include black-backed gulls, which are the main, and skuas. These are the main antagonists of Puffin Rock, it's a preschool show where the main characters are always under threat of being eaten. That is a rarity in most of the preschool shows. The stakes just aren't that high. But they also have to keep an eye out for rats, foxes, feral cats that can raid their burrows. But for the most part, it's the eggs and the chicks that are at the most risk of being eaten. Adults are not predated upon as much. And I'll leave you with this: those very colorful bills we talked about. During the winter they fade to a boring gray. So they just swimsuit season is over. They just put on their frumpy sweatpants and go watch Netflix for the winter until it's time to go and strut their stuff again. And that's all I got.
Nice.
Do you have any major facts?
I have one. I'm calling it puffinification. The puffin in Maine had disappeared, dwindled. But Stephen Kress, the director of the National Audubon Society's Seabird Restoration Program, successfully reintroduced Atlantic puffins to Maine's islands after they were nearly wiped out by hunting in the early 1900s. Starting in 1973, Kress transplanted young puffin chicks from Newfoundland and used innovative techniques like placing wooden decoys and playing recorded puffin songs, like songs from Puffin Rock, I guess, to attract the social birds to nesting sites such as Eastern Egg Rock, my favorite genre.
It's all Eastern Egg Rock.
Yeah. And it paid off. There are now 700 nesting puffin pairs across the 4 main islands, including 90 pairs on Eastern Egg Rock. But it came with a weird little side effect. The decoy puffins were mounted on a single peg and placed on poles and stuff. The returning puffins observed these new stationary friends and thought they were standing on one leg. Like, okay, these guys figured something out. So now the real puffins stand on one leg in order to mimic the behavior from the decoys. So they came to a new area after a long goodbye, and they found a new custom. It is standing on one leg. In reality, it was just the way that these decoy puffins were mounted. So why? Why would they just see this and do it and kind of adopt it to their way of life? So many birds are observed standing on one leg, but it's usually seen in long-legged birds like flamingos or storks. And the prevailing theory is that birds will tuck one leg up to reduce heat loss through their unfeathered legs and feet that are really long, exposing their blood to the temperatures on the outside. So you expose less skin to the cold air, and you can switch off, warm your leg.
I feel like you just crouch down and warm both legs, but I'm not a bird.
But if you're like a wading bird, you want one leg. You want to keep your feathers clean. Yeah.
But you want to be ready to snatch that fish.
Yeah. So even though short puffin legs don't shed as much heat as a stork stalk, maybe the decoys made the real puffins realize, hey, it's kind of warm and cozy to tuck your leg up. And switch off every once in a while. But it may be a simple case of trying to fit in. So they're more solitary during the winter, but they become highly social during the breeding season. They set up nesting burrows close together, even within a few body lengths apart. Puffin body lengths, mind you, not even human body lengths. We're talking puffin body lengths. They forage in small groups of about 7. And arriving birds crouch horizontally or walk in a low posture to signal non-aggression and to gain acceptance. Look, guys, I mean you no harm. Let me make my burrow right here.
So I'll just be horizontal, and you'll trust me then. Yeah. I only trust horizontal birds.
So they form, like you mentioned, long-term monogamous pair bonds. They often return to the same burrow with the same mate every year. Courtship involves males head flicking and grunting like a pig near burrows to attract females. And paired birds reinforce bonds by billing, which is rubbing their beaks together. Or it looks like a Eskimo
sending them an invoice.
Yeah.
Billing them.
Yeah, it's billing. It's the billing department. What are they doing in the billing department? They're just making out like birds do.
They're just birds snogging.
But so they're social enough that it's possible that they're just lifting one leg because they think that's what the locals do, and when in Maine, do as the maniacs do.
I have never in my life thought of the demonym for being maniacs. They can't be lost on them, though. Somebody's had to have brought it up. Mainers, probably.
I like maniacs though.
No, I like it too.
The mayonnaise. The mayonnaise.
The mayonnaise.
But so that's kind of a cute fact for a cute animal. These little guys got confused at looking at little decoy birds, little wooden birds, and thought, this is what we're supposed to do here. Supposed to stand on one leg.
Jim, what are you doing? I don't know. He was doing it when I got here.
Hey, excuse me, sir. What are you doing there? He doesn't seem to know.
Then you talk slowly. Hello, I am Puffin.
They speak
How much for this? I know how to haggle here with the locals.
That goes to the billing department.
You got to stay on one leg and shout at them, and that's how you get through one of those tourist trap bazaars as a Puffin.
Yes. But that's all I got. That's the Puffin.
That's the Arctic Puffin, or the Atlantic Puffin. Maybe we'll do another one, and I'll actually get to talk about the collective noun. But for now, that was the Atlantic Puffin for you out there in Podcastia. Put on your resting concerned face. Be monogamous. And make friends with a dummy. Like the Puffin here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we have a Patreon that you can find by going to ldtaxonomy.com/donate. All of our episodes are uploaded there. Sign up for free to engage with us, leave episode suggestions, or chat with other animal enthusiasts. If you find it in your heart to donate, it will help us cover some costs and continue to make the show. Plus, we'll thank you every week. Most importantly, thank you all for listening.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Do you know what the most popular episode that we ever done is besides the Humboldt squid? It's the barking deer, followed closely by the Java mouse deer. Somebody wants to know about deer.